Trust me, that invitation letter you have, right, doesn't have any value, okay? It doesn't. They make it seem to be what it's not, okay? So in this video, I'll tell you why it doesn't have a value when you're applying for that visa. It helps, but it's not like a big tick. Yeah, it's just an invitation letter at the end of the day, okay? So yeah, let's dive into the video. Once more, welcome to everyone in the channel. If you're new, all of that good stuff, you're welcome. Today, I want to talk about something a little bit different, which is about the common reasons why people's visas get rejected. That's the visit visas. I'm not an immigration person or whatever, but yeah, I my visa got rejected and lots of other lots as well from the Commonwealth. So it's a little bit tricky with regards to Commonwealth coming for a visit visa on a visit visa to join the armed forces. It's a little bit tricky because you're not coming as a visitor, which means following the right criteria for a visitor, but you are coming somehow for a job opportunity as well. So the things are a little bit different. So some of the common reasons I'll discuss them with you here. By the way, my visa got rejected the first time, so I'm kind of one of those in the business as well for of visa rejection. So yeah, the last that I've spoken to, they all said the same thing. Theirs got rejected. So some of them were even about three times, some were two. So mine was one. So yeah, kind of. So they kind of gave me some hints why their visas were rejected based on their refusal letters and all of that stuff. So on the video I did on how to apply for the visa, there were a lot of comments about what to do, all of that stuff. So I will start gradually with the video. This video will be about the common reasons why the visa will be rejected. So if you can work on this, you can help yourself from that trauma of getting the visa rejected the first time. Okay, it's common that it gets rejected the first time. I don't know for some weird reason, but it's kind of common that it gets rejected the first time. So it's not as if it's not the end of the world. You can apply again. Okay, so yeah. So the first reason is the lack of clear intention. As always, I've written them down so that it helps me. So yeah, first reason is lack of clear intention. Clear intention is like the reason you are traveling to the UK. Okay, yeah, you got the invitation letter, like I said, from the Navy, the Army, the RAF, all of that. You have the letter saying you have your assessment date, all of that stuff, all the things. That does not mean that because you got a letter from the army or the navy or RAF, it means you automatically qualify that they'll give you the visa. There are other criteria that they look at, okay? And some countries it's even more difficult, especially for those from Kenya or some countries that do national service, okay? They kind of scrutinize it while you are joining the UK military or the armed forces in the UK, why can't you join yours? And sometimes they also have like mandatory service, all of that stuff. So if you have issues with that, let me know. And in the in the next video rather, I will discuss on some ways to work around this lack of intention. So your intention has to be clear on this simple note. It has to be clear and direct why you are coming here. And yeah, it has to be clear and direct. Sometimes you get rejected because you didn't say clearly why you are coming to the UK. Yeah, it's a visit visa, all of that. But if you are not clear, trust me, they won't give you. Another thing is probably very silly, but sometimes people do it, okay? The second one is not getting the right visa. The second reason is not applying for the right visa rather. So sometimes you might find people who don't apply for the right visa. Okay, yeah, there is a visit visa, but at the same time, there are different kinds of visit visa. Okay, so there's a 6 month visa, there's a 2 years, and I think there's another one. But yeah, so the one you have to apply is a 6 months visa, which is cheaper. Okay, this thing is the cheapest visa so far, even though they increased the price last year, but yeah, it's still cheap. It's the cheapest. So it's the 6 months visit visa you're applying for. The requirements are different from those who are applying for the 2 year visa. Okay, So not applying for the right visa is another issue why the application will be rejected. Okay, because it shows that you don't even know what you are coming to the UK to do if you cannot apply for the right visa. Hope you get the point. So the third is probably another reason that people kind of overlook when applying is not giving enough documents. Okay, so sometimes people don't give enough documents with regards to the application, which means they will reject it. If you say something that, if, for example, if you say you have a piece of land A, show proof that you have that piece of land, okay? You can give bank statement, you can give land certificates, land titles, all that stuff to show that it's in your name, proof like that, okay? Don't worry about it. In the next video, I will give you some of the tips how to overcome some of these challenges, okay? It's common. Okay, I had them. I made my mistakes as well. I learned from them, and others have shared their experiences and all that, how they overcame theirs. So this is just an experience kind of video, not an immigration video. Okay, so I'm not an immigration advisor, as I always say. Just sharing my advice and suggestions. And not giving enough documents is what some people will do rather. They won't give enough documents for their visa. And if you don't give enough documents, what are you trying to prove? Because you cannot say you have something or you are coming here to do something and you don't give documents to support that claim. Because whatever you make is like a claim that you are here to do this, you have this back at home, you have this and all of that, you have A, B, C, D. But if there's no proof or evidence to show you have A, B, C, D, they cannot assume you have it. So remember at the back of your head, they are not looking for a reason to give you, they're looking for a reason not to give you. So yeah. The second reason, I think the fourth, is sponsorship and relationship, kind of stroke of sponsorship relationship. It's almost the same thing. So it's regards to your sponsor. Yeah, that's the sponsor. So if you don't give enough documents or show enough relationship with your sponsor, the person you are staying with, you are going to stay with, okay, is weak, they would obviously reject it. One of the first time I applied, that was one of the reasons, which was very, very silly, a very silly reason. But in the next video, I will tell you what I did to overcome it. It's really easy, trust me. If you know, get the hang of it, it's really easy to apply for this visa. So relationship with your sponsor. So word of advice now, if you don't have a relationship with your sponsor, start building it, okay? Chat with them, all those stuff, WhatsApp, all those things. Make sure you have a relationship with your sponsor. If it's your uncle, auntie, whatever, chat with them on a regular basis so that when it comes to that part, they need to prove that relationship. You can just screenshot those messages on WhatsApp and join them and submit. They write a letter and all of that stuff. But don't worry about it. Okay. This video is just for the common reasons. The next video I'll explain all those things in detail based on this. Okay. So just try and get that relationship going with your sponsor. If you don't have a sponsor, it will be another ball game. I will try my best to explain it in the next video. Let's just make this video short and brief. Um, Another common reason why they might reject it, your visa application, is your finances. Okay, if you don't have the right finances, obviously they will reject it. It's just common sense. You can't be coming to visit and you don't have money with you to spend, because at the end of the day, you're coming on a visit, which means you are visiting a place. Technically, you will spend money in the place. Literally, you have to spend money in the place because you need to be moving from place to place, all of that stuff. So visiting entails spending. Just have that at the back of your head when you are applying for the visa. Visiting entails spending. So your finances needs to be in order. Trust me, finances is a minefield. Like I always say, each application is different. Okay. So there is no general rule of thumb. But in the next video, I will give you some hints on how to like work around it to figure out what fits you. Okay. And Another reason is for refusal, second to the last, is return to home country in terms of your home ties, or yeah, home ties, country ties. What will actually make you leave the UK on your visit visa and return back? Okay, that's probably one of the most difficult things to prove, especially for young people, right? Like ourselves, it's really difficult to prove that point because most of us are either from just finishing uni, or you are just like an apprentice working somewhere. You don't have land, you don't have a house, you are just starting yourself as a young man or a young woman, last lady, whatever. And some of those things that kind of stand out as links to home ties you don't have. Okay, even like some people, yeah, some people have kids, you can use that as for your kid, your wife, you are married, all of that stuff. Some people don't have businesses, even you have businesses in Africa, some of those businesses are not registered. So it's also a minefield to navigate all of those things. So yeah, in the next video I'll do my best to walk around it and give you some hints to try to fix that. Like I said, it's just my advice, okay? Take it with a pinch of salt. If you want good advice, get an immigration lawyer. I'm just sharing my experience, okay? So the last point is probably one which is another silly point, but you need to do it, okay? If you're applying for your visa and you were refused before, okay, you need to say that you were refused before. Yeah, so for myself, I applied. The first time I was refused. So the second time I was applying now, I had to say that I was refused that visa and the reasons why I was refused, and also what I did to fix that issues in the first visa. Because if you don't fix those issues in the first visa, there's no need applying for this the second time, because they'll tell you the same reason. And if you don't disclose to them that you were refused the first time, they will see it as if you are trying to lie to them. Okay. They know it is in their system, they'll check it. Obviously, they'll check your name, do their checks and all of that. But when you tell them, it shows that you have integrity, you actually are honest. Okay. The thing is, they don't want to have any doubt in their mind when they are checking your application. Remember, there are thousands of applications they are checking. You are not the only one applying for that visa. There are other people who are also applying. So with immigration now, what's going on? Visas are kind of difficult to get in the UK and all of those things. Things are immigration now is something else. So you don't want something that you spend your money and don't get it, okay? So if you were refused the first time, make sure you mention it and also include that refusal letter when you're applying the second time, okay? So that it shows that you actually refused. Okay, yeah. So that's that for the video. In the next video, I'll tell you how to overcome some of these problems, okay? Some of these common reasons why they refuse it, okay? So, yeah, ciao. See you next time.